Do you sing? Who do you think you're asking? I'm not Ali Abdal. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Kieran. I'm a junior doctor and a comedian working in Manchester. I recently got 1,000 subscribers on YouTube and I'm super grateful for anyone that has subscribed to the channel or anyone that watches my video. To celebrate getting 1,000 subscribers, I did a little Q&A on Instagram where I said, ask me anything you want about hospital, about medicine, something personal, absolutely anything, and then I will answer it in a video. And I got way more questions than I was expecting. Today I'm going to be doing the Q&A. I've sort of categorized the questions. There was over 60, so way too many to fit into one video. So I'm going to split this video into two parts. In this first part, I'm going to talk about the personal questions. I'm going to talk about YouTube, and I'm also going to talk about medical school. Next video, I'm going to be talking about life as a doctor, of which I got loads of questions, money as a doctor, and also miscellaneous healthcare questions. With iPad in hand, let's get on with the questions. So, personal questions. Question number one. Are you Indian, brought up in the UK, or brought up in India and went to the UK for education? So my parents are African Indians. So my dad was born in Uganda, my mum was born in Kenya, and they came to the UK when they were very little. So I was actually born here, born in the UK in Stoke-on-Trent, and that's where my parents still live. So to answer your question, was born and brought up in the UK. What is your height and your weight? I love this question because it's just so simple. My height is 180 centimeters and my weight at the moment is 79 kilos, but if you speak to my personal trainer, he'll tell you I've got a couple of kilos to lose still. Do you consider yourself more Indian or more English, and what do you like about both? So I consider myself to be Indian. I mean, culturally I'm Indian, the color of my skin is Indian, my parents are Indian, my parents speak Gujarati, one of the Indian languages, but obviously I was born and brought up in the UK, so I am British. I think it's a really difficult, weird middle ground because when I go to India, I don't feel Indian, but when I'm here, I don't feel English. So to answer the question, I would say I feel more Indian than I do English, but at the same time, when I go to India, I feel less Indian than the actual Indians who are super Indian. What do I like about both? Well, India's got such a rich and vibrant culture. Obviously, the food is amazing compared to the bland British food, but there's massive perks to living and working in this country. It's super clean, their healthcare is free, their education is very good. So there's good and bad things about both. English is obviously an international language as well, and I think there is some power in holding a British passport as well. Why do you choose to keep living? That's such a deep question. Why do you choose to keep living? Or rather, why are you living? What's the meaning to your life? That is an incredibly deep question for a Q&A. What is the meaning for my life? What is the meaning for my life? I think that's a really difficult question to ask. I say I definitely live for other people. I like making people laugh. I love being there for my friends, for my family, for patients in the hospitals. What is your why in life? I think I've kind of answered that. I think my why is my family. I think my why is making people laugh, is, you know, being there to help people that are in need. What's your car? I love that it goes from what is your height to what is the purpose of your life to what car do you drive? The car I drive is a Mark III Audi TT. It is a fantastic car and it's got one of these MMI displays in it, which is sort of electronic as well. So absolutely love my car. If I've got a video of it, I'll probably show it around here, but it's pretty dirty at the moment, so I might just show you some images from Google Images. Can you tell us about your uni mates, what they're doing now as doctors, and how close you still are with them? So I'm really close to most of my uni friends still. I see them quite regularly. I went to university in Leeds and lots of them are still there. A couple are in Manchester, a couple are in London. I've got a couple of friends that are training in medicine. I've got one friend who's training in surgery, and I've got lots of friends who are doing this F3 thing. So that's where they're not in training programs, but they're locuming as doctors, they're saving money, they're traveling around. I've got one friend who's super into climbing, so he's basically quit being a doctor to climb full time. Crazy, I know. So in general, they're scattered all over the place in different specialties, but lots are being F3 locum doctors earning that money. How do you juggle your relationship with your fiance and working a lot? I think it does get very difficult sometimes, especially because I'm working full-time as a doctor. I'm also trying to make weekly YouTube videos. So you really do have to prioritize time with each other, allocate that time in. It helps that we actually live together. That lamp is hers. So at the times where we were doing long distance, it did get really difficult. I think she's very understanding and appreciative of what I do. She's also a dentist, so also very busy. So you have to make time for each other, and that's how you make the relationship work. Have you ever been to India? I have been to India. I don't have any family there anymore because, as I mentioned earlier, my parents were actually born in Africa, but we do go back every so often. So I reckon once every 2-3 years we go to Mumbai or we go to Gujarat. We went a couple of years ago with my family to the northwest of India, so Gujarat, where my ancestors are from, and we went to the village that my ancestors would be from. So my surname is Mojaria, and the village is called Mojur. So we went to visit the village of Mojur. We had like a minibus and it was really cool. But I, to be honest, didn't feel a spiritual connection to the place because we are so far removed from it. All-time top 3 books. This is a really good question. I would say my favorite book of all time is Douglas Adams' The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I think that is one book where if I read any book from that series, I completely escape and forget about the world, and I just love the way that that story is told. Number 2, I would say anything from the Sherlock Holmes collection by Arthur Conan Doyle. Once again, a fiction book that I can just lose myself in. And finally, Steve Martin has a book called Born Standing Up. So Steve Martin, you might know, as a comedy actor. He used to be a stand-up comic, and if you've seen my videos, you know that I used to do stand-up comedy, kind of have stopped because of COVID, but I do stand-up comedy as well. This book he's written is about the highs and lows of him being a stand-up comedian, and it's such a raw and real book, and I think I personally connected with it having done comedy, but anyone who's interested in comedy, it's probably one you should definitely read. What is your favorite takeout meal? Hands down, pizza. Papa John's vegetarian hot one, bang. Moving on to questions about YouTube. What motivated you to start a YouTube channel? What actually happened is I was doing a lot of stand-up comedy, I was doing loads of shows, I did a little tour, and because when COVID hit, all of the comedy venues had to shut, what I actually found was there was this void that I needed to fill, and I thought, if I can't go on stage and perform comedy, what else can I do? Which is why in the beginning, I decided to make a YouTube channel. If you watch some of my earlier videos, you'll know that I have no idea what I wanted the channel to be about, because I've done travel videos, I've done a drone review, and then I did some medical videos and found the reception was quite good. And that's how I fell into making these medical videos. But I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do with it initially. I didn't have an end goal in sight. I know some people are like, I want to do YouTube so I can make money and live off YouTube. That's not really what I wanted to do because I've also got a full-time job. But I've now come to the understanding that the reason I want to have a YouTube channel is because I want to talk about medicine, but I also want to make it fun. So I'm probably going to change my tagline to that at some point. Medicine, but fun. Any advice to YouTubers who are just starting? The best piece of advice that I was given when I first started out was to upload consistently. So no matter what that is, if you can only upload videos once every 2 weeks, that's fine, but upload once every 2 weeks. If you can upload at least once a week, that is going to be better for your growth. The other important thing is to collaborate with other people. Find other people that are in your field and try and do videos with them. Let's say you've got 100 subscribers and someone else in a similar field has got 100 subscribers. If they make similar videos to you, the chances are that the people that follow them are going to enjoy the stuff that you make as well. So when you do that crossover video, you're likely to gain more subscribers. There's loads more tips that I could give, and I'll probably make a separate video on it at some point, but upload consistently, collaborate with people in the same field, and engage with the community and stick at it. So if you're persistent and consistent over a period of time, you will have success, no doubt. Like Ali Abdal says, if you upload weekly or bi-weekly videos for 2 years, you will have success. That's it. That's just how it works. If you could make enough money off YouTube, would you quit medicine? Good question, and the answer is probably not, or not at the moment. The reason for that is because I like doing different things. I do medicine because I actually enjoy it, as well as it makes me a good living. So if I was making enough money from YouTube, I'd love to be able to do both. To be able to do some medicine, to be able to work part-time as a GP, to be able to have the YouTube stuff going on as well, and also to be involved more with the media. So if I could do some more TV doctoring stuff, that would be really what I'm aiming for. How has your YouTube journey been so far? I've loved it. I felt like there's a big medical community on YouTube now. I've made loads of new friends by doing it, and that's the main thing that I've gained from it. It's really difficult starting out on YouTube because you're making videos and no one is watching, but you have to keep making videos, and they have to be good videos, because eventually when you get to a point where you are getting subscribers and you are getting views, people will look back at your old videos and they may watch them, and that's the way you actually build your channel and build your page. And I got to a point in the last month where a couple of people have said to me, I sat this afternoon and I binge watched your videos. And that to me was really cool, because the time I put into making those videos has actually gone to some use, because some people have watched them and have enjoyed them. Questions about med school. Where did you do your MBBS? So my degree was MBCHB, or Bachelor of Medicine, Bachelor of Surgery, and I did that in Leeds, at Leeds Medical School in the north of England. What medical schools did you apply to, and why did you specifically choose Leeds? So I applied to 4 medical schools. I applied to Leeds, to King's, to Oxford, and to Birmingham. I wasn't very keen on going to Oxford, but I was kind of pushed to apply because I knew that the course was longer and I wasn't that convinced about doing medicine in the first place. And I was like, if I'm not sure I want to do it in the first place, then why would I want to do it for a year longer? So I didn't put much prep into the BMAT, didn't do very well in it, and didn't even get an interview for Oxford University. I did get interviews for King's, for Leeds, and for Birmingham. I managed to get offers after the interviews for each of those universities. And the reason I chose Leeds is that it's a campus-based university. It's about 2 hours away from home, so far enough that my parents can't just pop in, but close enough so that I can go home very quickly. And between us, it had a reputation of being a big party city, which is why I decided to go to Leeds. When and why did you decide to study medicine? What other careers did you consider? So I was never convinced about medicine. I was good at sciences. I had a scientific family, so my dad was a pharmacist, and I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do. So people said, well, why don't you do medicine? And then I thought, well, why not? The other career ideas that I had is that for a while, I wanted to be Prime Minister. So I thought about doing PPE at Oxford or something like that. I think you'll know with Asian families, they're quite keen on you doing a degree that has a specific job at the end of it. And you can understand why, because they have come to this country with nothing, they've had to support a family, and at the same time, they want you to have a job and to be able to support your family as well. So I understand why they want you to do certain things, and that's why there's so many Indian and Asian people doing maths, economics, medicine, pharmacy, dentistry. So I get it. And my parents were like, do what you want, but we think you should do medicine. And I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I was like, yeah, maybe I should do medicine. And I did. Looking back, I'm glad I did it, and I'm glad I didn't do anything else. But we'll come on to that one shortly. How happy were your parents when you became a doctor and when you started your medical training? They were very happy when I became a doctor. My brother got into med school a couple of years before me, so they were probably happier about him because he was the first child and I was just the second child that did it as well. And obviously, I'm joking, they were obviously elated that they had 2 boys at medical school. How can I get the best med work experience? A few long-term or loads of short-term placements? What I would say is variety is probably better. And that might sound contradictory to what you think, but the more variety you have in placements, the more you can talk about in your personal statement, and in your interviews. And also you can see if you actually like it as well. So for example, you can go to a GP surgery, spend a couple of days there. You can go to a hospital, go spend a couple of days or maybe a week on the wards. You can go to other places as well. So you can go to pharmacies and try out there. You can go to dental surgeries and try out there. That gives you a balanced picture to say, I've tried other things that are not medicine and I've decided that this is the one that I want to do. What was your favorite part of doing your med degree? This is going to sound super sad, but I actually loved revising for exams. When you're at medical school and you're revising for exams, you kind of do it as a big group. So we had a study group of 4 or 5 people. We used to meet up in the library. We used to revise. We used to have so much fun. The motto at my medical school was work hard, play hard. So if you worked and you passed your exams, you could go out and party and do whatever you wanted, because ultimately it didn't matter. You were there to work and to pass your exams, and as long as you were doing well and passing your exams, you could do whatever else you wanted. At Leeds, we also did full body dissection, so that was really cool. You had a group of 4 or 5 people with one cadaver, and each semester you'd dissect a different body part. So one semester would be respiratory system, one semester would be the cardiovascular system, one semester would be the digestive system, and you'd all be working on the same cadaver. Although I'm not a surgeon, I still thought that was pretty cool. How do I make the most out of my clinical rotations? What I would say is get involved, so actually be there, and like a lot of the medical students, and try and do what the doctor is doing, specifically the FY1, so the new doctors on the wards. It's quite quick to be good at these skills, so cannulas, blood tests, blood gases. So if you can try and get experience in those things as much as you can before you start becoming a doctor, I think that is a key skill that you can use when you start as a doctor. What will you say to future med career aspirants? I would say medicine is a great career. It's obviously a commitment, and a lot of people will tell you this, it's a commitment, make sure you want to do it. But at the same time, I wasn't sure I wanted to do it. I went to medical school and still wasn't 100% sure. I enjoyed the science, but still wasn't 100% sure. But when I started working as a doctor, I absolutely loved it. So if you're thinking about medicine, I think it's a really great career path. You help people, which is the main thing. You make reasonable money. You know, there's a certain respect that comes with being a doctor. So I definitely would recommend it as a career path to anyone that's considering it. The training can be long, but at the same time, you've got so many people with you also doing the same thing. It goes in no time at all. How intense is medical school? So everything you do is harder than the last thing you've done. I thought GCSEs were hard, and then I did A-levels. I thought A-levels were hard, and then I started medical school. So medical school is hard, but if you imagine so many people are doing it every single year, it's absolutely manageable and doable. You have to work at the right times, but everyone around you is also working at the right times. So you don't notice the fact that you're working loads and loads because everyone else is doing it as well. I think if you're getting A's in your A-levels, you'll be absolutely fine when it comes to medical school. Put a shift in when you need to, take breaks and play when you need to, and medical school isn't all that bad. I hope you enjoyed the first part of this Q&A, guys. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel so you can check out part 2, where I'll be talking about life as a doctor, I'll be talking about money, and I'll talk about healthcare in the UK. Take care, guys, and stay safe.